everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pigskin Pirates. Unfortunately, we were trying to get Colin. We weren't able. We're still trying to see if we can get him together to do at least do Florida. I think I'd like to hear his take on Florida. I hate that he can't do. He wasn't able to make it tonight, but Sawyer and I were able to get together. We're kind of doing some game plan. Sawyer had a lot of technical difficulties too, but he's up and running now. But we decided to go ahead and just take care of the 2026 South Carolina Gamecocks, or what we were calling Missouri Junior. A lot of people are pretty high on South Carolina. I kind of was as well. I expect them to win 7 or 8 games. My manager at work's as a Gamecock, so he'll probably be interested in listening in on this one. I think that they got a kind of a interesting schedule. It's not too hard, but there's a lot of opportunity with it. They do play Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, so they can mix up a lot of stuff. Of course, they got the end of the year with Clemson. Kind of going through it, first off, South Carolina, it's kind of like what Colin said about them in the Missouri Review or something. They always have players, and they do got Lenore Sellers at quarterback's pretty good. They haven't had several. Kind of watch this. There's a few teams. LSU, Texas had some injuries. Tennessee's had some injuries. South Carolina's been hit hard with the injury bug in spring practice. And it's crazy how many players this year are getting injured in the spring. And they lost their 2 best receivers out for the entire year. So I don't know how that's going to impact them. They said the offense is still putting up a lot of points, which either means their offense is really good and their defense is bad, or maybe their offense is that good. Who knows? Kind of look at their schedule. It's really a favorable start. I really think they could go 3-0 against that slate. They got the 2 non-conference and Miss State at home. Then they go to Alabama. So that's going to be an interesting game because I'm trying to figure out who Alabama plays right before them. I think it's Florida State or yeah. So I think that, that could be an interesting, maybe a game South Carolina could come in there and give Alabama some fits. I think they could potentially beat Alabama. I have them losing to Alabama, though. So that's kind of their first loss. Then they got Kentucky. Kentucky plays them tough, but I think they'll beat Kentucky. At Florida, that one, sorry, my cat's really. When I did the Kentucky review, I showed them off, and I missed my opportunity to say, I think the game at Florida could be kind of interesting. I was listening to the show today, though. Florida still doesn't know who their quarterback is, which doesn't bode well. They're starting out with, I think, who's the new coach's name for Florida? I can't remember his name. Summerall or something.
It's Coach Summerall, yeah.
Summerall, yeah. So, yeah, with the new coach at Summerall, that doesn't bode well right off the bat. But winning in the Swamp is tough. I can't remember how I picked this one in my standings, but I think I had them beating Florida. I think they have a good chance of beating Tennessee, but I don't know. It depends on how good Tennessee is and how good they are. Both teams are still kind of a mystery. I went with South Carolina beating Tennessee. Can South Carolina stop the run? Can Tennessee's defense slow South Carolina's offense down? That's what some of the questions will come down to in that game. And no telling. Both teams could be very different teams by then. It's hard to tell. Does Tennessee have revenge on its mind, wanting to go into Columbus? Because last time they were there was 2022, and that infamous loss. So who knows? At Oklahoma, South Carolina, last time they went there, won big, like 35-7. But I think Oklahoma gets them. A&M, I think A&M may be too much for them. That's actually when A&M first joined the SEC. I think after a year or 2 or 3, that was their East Division rival or permanent opponent. So because they wanted to have Arkansas against Missouri, and that ended up being a kind of a fun series. South Carolina knocked them off a few times, so that's not an easy game for A&M going to the Gamecocks. That could be get A&M in trouble. I think they'll beat Arkansas. They get Georgia. We talked a lot about that. I got Georgia winning that, but that's a game that could be a trap game for Georgia. Then they go to Clemson at the end of the season. I think Clemson will probably beat them. Both of them are about the same level. I think they both scream 8-4 or so. I think Clemson's defense will be pretty good. Their offense will struggle. That tends to be the current Dabo Sweeney model. but we'll see. Clemson could be sneaky good this year. Reading up on them, but I think that South Carolina will probably lose that one, but it could go either way. Sawyer, what's your take?
Mhm. Yeah, seeing the schedule, I can actually see 8-4. I can see them winning against probably, I mean, Oklahoma or actually A&M. I could actually see them sneaking by A&M because I feel like South Carolina this year could be a very much like a Cinderella sleeper team almost, where they can be in contention with some good teams, but that's only due to their offense with Lenore Stellars. I do see, yeah, I mean, 8-4. The first three games of the season, that's obviously 3-0, but then you go to Bama. That'll be your first loss of the season. The Tennessee one, though, is kind of intriguing to me. I mean, they do play at Knoxville. Like I said before, Knoxville is always.
It,
I mean, it can
it's
be a
at South
place to
Carolina.
play. Oh, is it? Is it at South
Yeah, that's
Carolina?
why I
Okay,
picked. If it is in Knoxville, I'd have picked Tennessee. But it being at South
right.
Carolina,
Okay.
I think that's why I picked South Carolina.
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. No. Never mind. I think the Steelers can have a heyday against them, but I can see them winning against A&M, losing to Georgia, and then maybe winning against Clemson if Dabo has a change of heart and actually changes what he wants to do, about his team. He's still the same old. This is not the NIL era. The
Yeah.
original. I'm going to recruit, and if you come here, then you're going to stay here.
Well,
That's his
Kirby
motto.
Smart's like that. Kirby Smart's still doing okay, so it's hard to totally criticize that model because they're a little bit more flexible than Dabo has been about it and less vocal. But Kirby
Yeah.
Smart has kind of had that mindset as well.
No, I mean at Florida, I could see them winning against Florida. I mean, like you said, we don't know who the Florida.
Yeah,
So
Florida. Some of the stuff I'm hearing may not be that good. I looking at how I predicted it, and they're 7-5 because looking at that, lost to Alabama, lost to Oklahoma, lost to Texas A&M, lost to Georgia, lost to Clemson. That's 5. And
mhm.
Tennessee and Florida are
Yeah,
not necessarily gimmies. So yeah, they could. There's a scenario they could easily go
yeah,
5-7, have a losing season.
yeah. But
So
I mean, I may be giving them a little too much credit here, for their wins potentially, but that's kind of how I see it this year with them. I don't know about if their defense can actually hold up with their offense. Yeah, I mean I could see 7-5, 8-4.
yeah,
You know,
I don't know. I had them. I was a little high on them, but after more look at the schedule again, I think there could be a good team. But with this schedule, I'm leaning more towards 7-5 being right where they're at. They're kind of like in a Missouri situation. We were talking about Missouri. I mean, there they are, Missouri Junior. Here we go again, Missouri Junior. But yeah, there's just too many tough games on this schedule. Even some of the games we got winning, like Tennessee and Florida, they're not given. Even looking at Arkansas, that could be a dangerous trap game for them as well between A&M and Georgia. They got to go to Clemson, got to go to Arkansas. They got. I mean, it's good that they're 3-0. They're front in their schedule. They could easily be 4-1. That's a kind of a soft
mm-hmm.
start, but it gets starting October 10th against Florida. There's a load of games here
Right.
not gimmies. They got to pick up some road wins to get to 8 wins, and some difficult road games, or knock off some people like the Georgia or something like that. It'll be tough. It'll be tough for them to get to 8-4. I think 7-5 or six
Yeah.
and six seems a lot more likely now looking at it. Call out. Look at the Arkansas ticket price once again. There you go.
Oh my god, that might is that the lowest, dude? Is that the lowest that we've seen so far?
No, I think that Missouri game was like $13. I could be wrong, but yeah, South Carolina and
Man,
Arkansas is $14, guys. If you want to, you want to get some SEC football. There you go. Well, it's tickets as low as that's probably their upper deck, but still, it's kind of like Alabama's at 51. It's probably the nosebleed, but still, if you want to
Yeah.
get nosebleed SEC football for cheaper than a McDonald's meal for two, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the good old Gamecocks. So I don't know if there's much we can say about them. They scream 7-5, 6-6 to me. They'll maybe make a bowl. If they don't, I'm wondering if Shane Beamer starts getting in trouble and getting on the hot seat because they've been pretty mediocre the last two or
You
three
know,
years. They had that year they beat Tennessee and they beat Clemson back in 2022, and they were kind of on the rise. But now I think a lot of that goodwill is gone for that. And I think if they struggle again this year, he may land on the hot seat.
yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. If he does, even if he goes 6-6, I can see him being on the hot seat.
Well, that's it with South Carolina. Not a whole lot to say about him. I would have loved to hear heard Colin's opinion on him. I hate that he missed it, but yeah, we'll be jumping over. Try still that leaves us with just Florida and the Vanderbilt Commodores left. So we'll go through and we'll try to finish things up. And had a couple other maybe I thought about doing a Big Ten one. Probably going to try to do that solo, or maybe with Sawyer, maybe with somebody else. I'll see. I thought I want to do like a Big Ten kind of overview. We may do a Heisman watch as the season picks up, but we'll see. Like I said, it's hard to get everybody together, hard to film this. So thank you guys for tuning in and supporting. Continue to watching the videos. I saw some, Auburn got some pretty good hits right out in the first day or so. Had quite a good number of views. Thank you guys for that. But continue to tune in and support. We appreciate it, guys, and we'll continue to follow through this season. I think it's going to be an interesting season. A lot of teams that with a lot of unknown question marks. Well, especially in the SEC. I think the SEC race outside of you don't feel comfortable with anybody truly outside of Georgia.
No, I mean you can maybe put Texas up there, but
Yeah, I've heard more and more about Arch Manning struggling though. It's like their offense is sputtering a lot, so I don't know. I don't know if Texas is a safe pick anymore either, but we'll see. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll continue to drop just two more teams left: Florida and Vanderbilt. Thank you guys.